You ever walk up drunk and naked in your neighbor's car? Oh, it's just me.
Yeah, how much
are you selling tickets for?
Two. Let's say two. Right?
Let's say we needed two. How much would it cost? The first time we played it, our first big show in LA was at the El Rey, and I was actually kind of flattered when we walked out and there were scalpers. Just the whole scalper experience, like it was kind of cool to be in a band that somebody would want to scalp tickets for.
Well, somebody once said that you're nobody until you've been bootlegged, but I kind of disagree. I think it's you're nobody until you've been scalped. Wait, no, hang on. That sounds a lot.
We've been on tour for like 2 years now, and what happens when you're on tour is you start to feel like nothing you do has any real consequences. It's like kind of weird, like you feel like, for example, that never had consequences no matter what. I think that's actually legal. I think, like, I don't think you're even breaking the law there. But like, because it's like you live in this dream state, because we've been to like 50 cities in the last like month and a half, and we were in like 150 cities in the year before that. And so you wake up, you know, in a new parking lot every morning, and you sort of, like, your life starts to become kind of a blur. And we have like a band rule against doing drugs, but I really understand why people do a lot of drugs on tour, because A, there's not that much else to do, and B, because you're tired a lot, and sometimes it's like, well, shit, we gotta go do 6 radio things and an interview and then play the show, whatever, and I've got 1 hour of sleep. So like, the idea of doing a bunch of lines of blow suddenly makes a lot of sense.
And the funny thing is I had no end. I tried that color up at 2 a.m. and some crowded bar.
So the mark of success, people, I was like, how do you know when you've made it? And where I was like, you know, when you can kill a hooker and get away with it. So we were at the Viper Room in LA, which is the fucking douchebaggiest club that has ever douchebaggy. And we only played it because Indie 103.1 used to have a night there. Normally we would never play that place. So I've never been more proud of Steven in my whole life, because there was like a sound guy there who like mixed sound for Guns N' Roses in the 80s and like never got over it.
He was unaware that it was 2008.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, so he was like, we were like, Steve, he was just being a jerk the whole time, and we were just, you know, we're just a local band and we're trying to get our sound right or whatever. So he goes to, so Steven's like, hey, douchey sound guy with the ponytail.
He didn't say douchey though.
No.
He was very
He was very polite.
Right, but he was a douchey sound guy with ponytail. And so Steven goes, can I have some more guitar in my monitor? That's the thing in the front, you know, the wedge, the speaker that you can hear yourself. I said, can I have some more guitar in my monitor? And the guy's like, listen, man, listen. I'm gonna take care of you, okay? This is the best sound in LA, all right? It's the best sound in LA, and you're gonna be taken care of. So Steven, without missing a beat, I was so proud of him. He goes, sweet. So can I have more of the best sound in LA in my monitor?
And so standing in the rain, wood so dry, face so wet. You said I broke her heart, but that hadn't happened yet. I bet her friends all hate me now. I get the strangest looks from this busy crowd.
The thing about the UK is that, like, if you say the name of the town that you're in, they just bust into their fucking like soccer chant called football over there, and they just like, you could be like, hey, it's nice to be in Cardiff, and then it'll be like 400 drunk,
Really
like,
drunk.
Yeah, they start doing their like Cardiffian fucking soccer chant, and you're just like, oh, that's weird. So this guy was on stage, and he was really.
No, he was one of like 20 people on stage.
Yeah, there was like 20 people on stage, and we were having a night. You know, it was like a crazy like screaming kind of night, and everyone was on the stage, and he was like headbanging and doing his thing, and I was trying to sing. And then his head popped. At one point, his head bang popped back, and like the back of his head hit me in the eye, like really hard, like bam. Like I was like, fuck. And I was trying to sing, and then like, yeah.
Nice.
And then he kind of looked back at me and
doing
smiled, and I
Function?
sort of smiled, and because it was like whatever. What are you gonna do? It's punk rock. But then this blood started coming out of my face, and then we finished the show, and I just had like blood coming down my face for the rest of the show. And the good part of that was that we had all this TV we had to do that week. So for the rest of that week, on like MTV and shit, I had like a black eye, and it looked like I was shining.
It looked
I
like
just
blue
like
eyeliner.
Mike Tyson had just fucking like clocked me.
Everyone thought Mikkel was running eyeliner.
What's passed through these hands? All these drugs and the one night stand. So I tremble when I think of what's.
How are you doing?
Doing all right.
You're like way more likely to get shot in the U.S. and way more likely to get in a fight in the U.K. I don't know what that's about.
Well, even the way of complimenting in the UK is weird. Like they'll take the piss out of you, I guess, and it's like this weird way of like fucking with you because
they
they like
put
you.
something in your urethra. I got a cab. That's the fun one. I think you do it 6 to 7 times a day. If I'm walking in, I'm with you, I expect you to be fucking
All time away, still on my mind. We run our home almost all the time. We just step away.
I don't know if how much of it. I think it's all pretty real. It's all just stuff that happened, and I just tried to write about it in a way that seemed sort of honest. It seems sort of subversive to tell the truth about stuff. And you understand, when we first started out, we were just this band on the east side of LA playing shows at like the Echo and Spaceland, and all these people kept coming to shows, and we didn't really know why. We just kind of like got up and we had this certain attitude about things. And the fact that we're now in this world of whatever, like we're all aware that it could all like, it all has to be taken with a grain of salt. Like it'll all go away tomorrow. And I think we're pretty determined to like not be assholes in the process, and sort of like we maintain some level of work ethic and humility about it. And sort of like if it did, like we'd be okay with that. And in the meantime, we want to just be kind of lean and hungry and like just trying to write good music and perform good shows.
Are you subversive?
Well, the idea of like honesty and stuff, like most pop songs have this very teenage idea about like love or relationships, or about like, you know, sort of what makes a good day or a bad day. But that's not how we live our lives. Nobody lives their lives that way. Like if we went out to a bar tonight and now we were talking and having a few, you'd be like, dude, check this out. This thing happened to me with this ex-girlfriend, and so she showed up with this guy, and I talked to her, and this thing happened. And like, it would involve some fucked up shit. There would be jealousy, and there would be some kind of loneliness, and there would be some desperation, and then there'd be some perspective on it. You'd be able to kind of laugh at yourself a little bit at the same time as like you really did feel that way. Like this is actually how we experience our lives. We don't experience our lives in the way that you would expect from a 3-minute pop song. No, there's nothing really too conscious. Like, I don't like the songs on the record are very much like those are just the songs we were playing live, and for whatever reason, people that came to the shows were into those songs, and so those are the songs we put on the record. Again, we're not really commenting on anything. We're just kind of like putting on shows, and people seem to have been responding, and we wanted to put on shows for those people. That's really all it is.
Documenting as opposed to commenting.
Oh, for sure, yeah. No, there's not like commentary on the record. There's not a lot of like, here's how you should live your life kind of bullshit. There's a lot of like, well, here's what the fuck happened.
Here's how you shouldn't live your life.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, well, this was fucked up, but it happened, so it's okay, I guess, you know, whatever. And there's actually a certain kind of like freedom in that, though, you know? Like that everyone could, like, I think that's part of what people respond to at shows, is that they feel like, well, fucked up shit happens and it's okay. And not all our songs are about horrible, heartbreaking moments or something. Some are just kind of funny. And then people miss the humor sometimes, and you want to be, and they'll be like, you wrote this song and it's about like, do you really believe happiness is overrated? And you're like, I mean, sometimes I kind of think you're an idiot for asking that question, but otherwise, you know, that's not your next question, is it? Good, okay. So these are the bunks on the bus. This is where you sleep at night. You know, this is my bunk, and I sleep here. And then what you do is you close the curtain. It's actually quite dark. It's actually the back lounge, Steven.
All right, this is the back lounge. This is our closets. This is where clothes.
This is what I'm gonna wear tonight, but you can't see it.
I don't know.
Yeah, and this is our toilets, our bathroom. Mikkel's about to come out.
We're definitely not rock stars.
How do you? Yeah,
Like
that's
this
what I-
band is almost like started to like explode the idea. I mean, we never thought we'd be that big, so it was sort of like almost as a joke originally. Like, let's just do everything anti-rock star. Like, we're not gonna get up and posture about whatever. We're not gonna have some huge pageantry about who we are. We're just gonna try and give everything back that everyone gives to us. That was always the philosophy. It's still the philosophy. We played for Boston the other night. We played for like 2,000 people after the show. We all walked out in the audience and we were just talking to people for a while. And we do that almost every night. Just because like all the bullshit that you hear about in music, you know, the lore of rock and roll, it doesn't really exist. Like, it existed for Led Zeppelin for 2 years in the 70s, and for like Motley Crue for about a year and a half in the 80s.
then it's
Otherwise,
gone.
it's just bullshit, and everyone's just trying to maintain this idea that that's this like whole rock posture is true. It doesn't really exist. The most interesting things that ever happen in music happen between the ears of somebody listening to their favorite song. Like, and it's the ideas that it conjures, it's the emotion that it conjures, it's the sense of relevance and communication and kindred spirit that it conjures. The rest of it is just bullshit. It's folklore. And so, for us, it was always about exploding that idea in whatever little way. And at this point, you know, if we have a chance to explode it in some large way, we'll explode it. I would love to fucking like be on the cover of Rolling Stone, like win a Grammy, blah blah blah, and just be like, hey, this is all bullshit.
This magical moment, so different and so new, was like any other. Until I met you, and then it happened. You know that it took me by surprise. I knew that you felt it too. I could see it by the look in your eyes, sweeter than wine, softer than a summer's night. Everything I
Well,
want.
if you look at like people who are really successful, they tend to be the most humble. The people who are like real arrogant pricks are like bands that had like a song or a record or a time or a press campaign or something.
And
that
they end
was
up getting really
successful.
bitter about it. Like,
And they're just like, and they're trying to maintain some like idea of themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to like, I mean, if the band went away tomorrow, I'd just go write books and hopefully make some folk songs. And every one of us in our own way, we just kind of care and realize that's okay. You know? It doesn't change anything that much.
yeah, and I think that anybody's this larger than life persona, especially like at the end of the day, you're a fucking rock and roll band. I mean, like, come on, get
God,
it
I hate
together.
to summarize it all so easily. Like, it's all about the music, but I don't know. It kind of is. It's about your connection to it. It has nothing to do with what people are fucking wearing on stage or what they're doing on stage or whatever. It's about what you get out of the music. It's
That
what you
moment
connect
ends
to.
the minute the show ends. That moment's over. But like, you're about as good as the moment you can create on stage that night. And the second you, like the next night, you think you're like some hot shit person as a result of it, you're just fucking wrong. 'Cause, you know what? You could be like a hot shit lawyer and like do a lot of blow and fuck your secretary and cheat on your wife and be an asshole. And like, who cares? You know, you make $500,000 a year and think that you're hot shit. It really doesn't matter what career. Like, this is just one of many. And like everything else, you still have to like be a real person and not be an asshole. What are you doing here? I say you can come back here. Where's your pass? You're not a girl. Get out of my fucking sight line. Get out of my sight line.
I'll be like, look, guys, the strippers are here, and then they'll be all disappointed.
Can you splice these two? Can you splice these two together so it's like an honest answer and then like, fuck.
Whenever I hold you tight, so I want you to dance with me.
It's like I can imagine the guys in the studio and they're just like, it's just these boneheaded fucking riffs, and then they're like, how do we talk about fucking in this chorus? And then they're like, yeah. And then they're like, why don't we just say girls, girls, girls? And they're like, oh, perfect. What should be the next? What should be the next line? Dancing real crazy on the Sunset Strip. Oh, okay. And then it's like,